Here I am standing in Nacht der Untoten, the first ever Call of Duty Zombies map, and here comes a zombie. Holy shit, we just got killed by that zombie. That was crazy. But did you notice how intense it was? How scary it was? How it made you feel? Well, that's the thing. Call of Duty Zombies maps used to make me feel something, and now they don't. I wanted to take a trip back through time, and while I don't despise Black Ops 6 Zombies, I certainly do think that older CoD zombie maps were far superior, and had so much more personality and scary atmospheres behind them. So let's compare, shall we? But first, a little bit of history. In the era of CoD 4 and World at War, the Call of Duty reputation was far different. World at War especially was far darker, it was far grittier, and the tone of it was way more serious than whatever we're seeing here in modern Call of Duty games. With this extremely dark and World War II setting, it opened up the door for an amazing and atmospheric campaign, very fun and brutally violent multiplayer, as well as a new contender in the ring. A third game mode, one that was just initially an Easter egg that you unlocked after completing the campaign, but very quickly took the gaming world by storm and ended up becoming a mainstay in the Call of Duty franchise. Nazi Zombies was an extremely simple yet terrifying game mode that would drop up to 4 players in an enclosed space where they would kill lots and lots of zombies. Endless waves of zombies, in fact. However much your Xbox 360 that you just got for Christmas that year could handle until it exploded into the red ring of death. Those were extremely trying moments for a 9-year-old who just wanted to play video games all day, and sometimes his hardware just couldn't support that. Nacht der Untoten was the first ever zombies map, meaning it was also the simplest. It translated to Night of the Living Dead, a reference to the cult classic George Romero film. George would actually go on to become a villain in a separate zombies map years down the road, a map named Call of the Dead. Look at that. It all comes full circle. All you had to do in Nacht was open up a couple of doors, repair some windows from time to time, hit the mystery box to get better weapons, and survive. Survive like your life depended on it. I mean, it felt like there were actual high stakes back then in my little pea-brained mind. It was scary, it was mysterious, it was dark, and people loved it so much that Treyarch released DLC zombie maps with every single expansion pack that came out for World at War. Maps that were very distinct from one another and became more and more elaborate with each new iteration. The next map and first DLC map in World at War was Verrückt, which simply translates to crazy. The map takes place in an insane asylum after all. Here we saw the introduction to perk machines that gave the players certain buffs, and they also played fun little jingles, the ones that have become so iconic today. We also saw the introduction to traps. You can throw these on and watch the zombies fry. They were a nice boost to the player's zombie killing potential, but they could definitely burn you too, so watch out for that. Next we move on to Shinonuma, or Swamp of the Dead. While it's not my favorite map from the old school zombies era, I certainly think it's the most atmospheric one. It's grimy, swampy, and it's spooky. The setting shifted out of Nazi Germany and into Imperial Japan. Here the player can obtain the Wunderwaffe DG2, a weapon that used the mysterious element 115 to chain lightning bolts between hordes of zombies. And it was very effective. We can even spot a meteor consisting of element 115 that crash landed into the map, as well as an American soldier hanging in the spawn room. Both of these would become crucial pieces in the earliest parts of the now 16-year Zombies storyline. The final World at War map was Der Riese, which translates to the Giant. This map was just an absolute classic and is widely regarded as one of the best zombies maps ever made. The setting switched from Japan back to Germany and took place in a Nazi factory, one that was home to many top secret experiments. This is where we are first exposed to teleporters and the almighty Pack-a-Punch machine. Both of these additions to the zombies formula would go a long way and would become crucial building blocks towards further zombie maps in the future. All 4 of the OG zombies maps maps were extremely distinct from one another. They all felt like real places, and it felt eerie and ominous to explore those places, especially for the first time. They set the standard, and they really laid down a solid foundation for many years to come. They always left the community wanting more, just waiting for the next map to come out. Their designs weren't always that complicated, but they were effective, and they had so much personality behind them. I believe that this is the most crucial flaw that we now see in modern Call of Duty Zombies. Somewhere along the way, the uniqueness, that special feeling that zombies used to have was lost. That distinct identity and personality from map to map to map, well, it's been greatly diminished. It's almost been lost completely. All of the zombie maps in World at War and Black Ops 1 through 3 really held on to that core zombies foundation. The foundation being just how distinct each map was from one another, and how scary and mysterious they all felt the first time you traversed them. Treyarch clearly made it a priority in all of these old games to deliver drastically different and fresh zombie killing experiences. It made the wait for each new map so worth it, because there were big innovations and creative ideas around every corner. The Black Ops 1 zombie maps, for instance, started in a creepy old Nazi zombie infested movie theater and ended on the fucking moon. The moon! The Black Ops 2 maps had Mob of the Dead and Buried back to back, two of my personal favorites from over the years. I don't think anyone back then was complaining about the drastic differences between map themes. They were welcomed, in fact. They would even go as far as to change the player's HUD to fit whatever sort of theme they were trying to push for a new map. What a nice little touch. Oh, and did I mention that the Black Ops 2 zombie maps concluded with Origins? Yes, Origins, the map where we got to use elemental staffs, ride tanks, and dodge gigantic robots from stepping on us. For whatever reason, modern CoD Zombies maps don't even try to be as ambitious as any of the maps that I've mentioned. Instead, we've been plagued by this very strange shift in the formula that makes up these modern zombie games. The sense of discovery and weirdness that was found in the older maps has been substituted for objective markers telling you where to go and bad user interfaces. Mini-maps, damage numbers, items scattered all across the floor, kill streaks, health bars that do in fact tell me that I am shooting a zombie. Thank you for that one. I think a lot of these changes were for marketing reasons and to push the zombies name into a wider audience. But in doing so, the magic of what those old maps were able to capture was lost. Another example would be the old school cast of characters that spanned across 4 games and many years. Nikolai, Dempsey, Takio, and Richtofen. And now we have these guys. And these ladies. Who the f*** are these people? There's been these weird takes with open world type zombie maps, and I think zombies were even in Warzone at some point. And Modern Warfare 3, I mean, that game should have just never came out in general. I don't think it's all doom and gloom for the zombies name, because while the original vision has been lost, there's been some solid changes to gameplay and a couple of interesting ideas from time to time. The gameplay of it and the feeling of actually gunning down trains of the undead has never been this great. I like the guns and the realistic punch to them. I also like being able to pack a punch up to 3 times, and that's all I got, actually. That's all I wrote down, so I guess that's all I like. And I've even downloaded Black Ops 3 again to play zombies in that game instead of the new one, and it absolutely rules. Are modern zombie maps any good at all, or are they just a shell of those extremely atmospheric, scary, and unique maps that we used to get back in the day? I've said my piece, now you let me know, and I'll catch you in Nocturne Toten. Thanks for watching.